What's going on, people? What's going on, people? How you doing? How you doing? Peace, blessings to all you folks out there. Hopefully everybody's safe. Shout out to the replay gang. Anybody watching this in the replay. It is 2:44 Eastern Standard Time to 2:44 a.m. in the morning. I don't expect a lot of folks to be up. Surprise anybody. Shout out to the one person that gave me the thumbs up already. You know, I'm here because maybe yeah. Let me not go too far. Let me not go too far. Let me not get too far ahead of myself. Shout out to anybody's watching. I know my mother's probably still up working. Shout out to her, all the essential workers out there, people doing what they do. What's going on, Cheryl Lee? Appreciate it. It's 11:44 in California. Well, yeah. California is a beautiful place to be right now. Why am I here right now? Sis Dad, thank you for coming through. Glad you to join. Uh, I was thinking to myself, who knew that in January, at least back in January, we would be here? I bet you a lot of people didn't see this. They didn't foresee this. They didn't think about the fact that we would be in a global pandemic here in the middle of April. A lot of people probably didn't even think about that. Didn't cross your mind. If it did, maybe you were Nostradamus or one of the ancestors or something like that. It's kind of crazy how the days overlap. I don't know if that's happened for you. Monday may feel like a Sunday. Sunday may feel like a Tuesday. Tuesday feels like a Saturday. Friday feels like a Wednesday. And poor Thursday, you could just toss it up in the air. But it's kind of crazy like that. So it's like I'm expressing that. I wanted to take time out to really just talk about that. Maybe it's more about the psychological effects of COVID-19, with how it affects, different people. It affects us all in different ways. A friend of mine on Facebook actually posted something about, suicide prevention and stuff like that. And I thought about that. I thought about how, it may affect people having to be in the house. No, but often wonder why some places in Europe are always wearing masks. Yeah, well, that's something too. Fear is a way that this may affect people as well. So there's fear of it too. People may have suicidal thoughts because they have to be inside the house. There may be anxiety about money issues. There's hoarding and stuff going on. The fear of missing out, loneliness, all kind of stuff that's happening because people have to self-isolate, social distance, or shelter in place, whatever it's called in your area. What's going on? 1967. Appreciate you for coming through. Nothing wrong with that. Balance and vision. Back to you. Appreciate you for coming through. Right now, like I said, I'm just sharing my thoughts. I'm just really going through, the progressions of this of my thoughts before I actually came on this live stream about the days overlapping, how this affects the global pandemic, how this affects people. And I wonder, how does it affect you? I don't expect you to have an answer now, but for anybody watching now, anybody watching this in the replay, I wonder, tell me, how is the COVID-19 affecting you beyond the normal stuff, beyond the worries about actually catching the virus. Domestic and child abuse increased too, although rape and burglary decreased. Yeah, I've been told that too. Unfortunate. There's domestic violence cases that may go up. There's child abuse in different ways, and sexual things that people may go through. There's a lot of family issues that people may face. There's a lot of psychological things. There's a lot of physical abuse, sexual abuse, unfortunately. And for those people, this is mature content. So if I understand that this is even in the replay, this is not a conversation for you. But I'm just addressing what's being put up and some of the concerns that people have in that. So that's a disclaimer for that. But this really affects people in different ways. And I think I haven't heard too much about the mental health aspect of it. People have talked about it. I'm not saying on a larger scale it hasn't been addressed or talked about. But how does it affect people in different ways is very important. And I understand that this conversation is not for you. Like I said, I promise you this is not a sad conversation. This is not me trying to tear anybody down or bring anybody down. We're good in shape and started to see hunkering down, trying to help others in any way possible. And yeah, that's the bright side of this is that, there's different charitable things that happen as well. but also it has to be given a chance to help family members out of work and others. Yeah, definitely. There's something you got to worry about the work thing, but I wanted to address what Sid Dad is talking about. With that, the charity work. There's a lot of people doing a lot of great charity work out there. There's a lot of people that are helping elderly folks or people that are lonely, people that can't go out, that may be sick. There's like, contactless deliveries. I know here in New York, they have stuff like that going on. There's donations being given to certain charities. Do your due diligence and make sure it's above board. You don't want to put yourself out there with that. So there's different positive things that are going on. It's not like, people are not actually putting their best foot forward. It really has been addressed. It really hasn't been addressed while the symptoms of the virus aren't being reported accurately either. Yes, 1967, I agree with you on that. Unfortunately, the symptoms are not really being reported accurately. They're mild symptoms. There's people walking around who have no clue. Who have no clue whether they're sick. They have mild symptoms. At one point, I was getting alerts to my phone, directly from the city of New York, being told, hey, basically, if you have mild symptoms, don't even come to the hospital because you won't be able to get tested. And people really don't know. There's so many people walking around and spreading it and community infections and people wearing masks. And, you really don't know at this point. That's something that's a whole other separate topic we could talk about another time, but it is relevant. So that's that part. But I wanted to go back to what Cheryl was saying as far as the economic impact. There's a lot of people, especially here in America, who haven't been given the stimulus checks yet, or trying to figure out what's going on. Maybe you got a child support issue, or you're just trying to figure out if you qualify. A lot of things that people are not talking about, or a lot of folks people are not talking about, are the people that make just enough, just too much. If you're like 75,000 or maybe in the 80,000 range, you're not getting a check, but you have expenses. So people have anxiety. You have to go out there and get loans. You have to do all kind of other stuff to try to stay afloat. That can affect people. There's a lot of stress. There's a lot of stuff that people go through. And one of the things I tell people in this troubling times, what's up, Yas Poet? Appreciate you. Definitely, you be safe and have a good night as well. There's a lot of things that I tell, not a lot of things. There's something that I tell people right now. If you have anxiety, if you have fear, if you have panic in you, I encourage people to find somebody that you can trust, somebody that you can talk to, somebody that, can probably try to help you cope with whatever it is that you're going through, whatever it is that you're facing. I'm not a health professional. I'm not a mental health expert in any way, any shape, form, or fashion. But I would say to people, try to find somebody that you can confide in, a confidant. Even if you can find a health professional, somebody that you can call up, there's services, there's places you can go. There's, plenty of videos on it. How to deal with depression, suicidal thoughts or fear, anxiety, different things that you can Google, different stuff that you could go through. You're not alone in this situation. All of us struggle with something. The thing is to not find shame if you have fear, if you're going through something. It's okay if this whole, COVID-19, global pandemic is scaring you. It's okay. Everybody doesn't have the answers. Even the politicians don't have the answers. The scientists are saying one thing, the politicians are saying this, the business people are saying that, the registered Democrats and Republicans and independent are saying whatever they're saying. Right now it's an important time for us to stick together and try to, see what's going on and try to sift through the madness. And it's a lot of misinformation being put out there. You try to, see what's going on with that. So I get the panic, I get the fear, I get the people worrying about it secretly, deeply behind the scenes, concerned about stuff like that. But again, like I've said in other subsequent live streams, that if you wake up, if you put one forward in front of the other, you take it 1 minute at a time, one hour at a time, one day at a time, and try not to let those things cloud your mind. Somewhere that rhyme. But the point I'm trying to say is that there are resources out there. There are places you can go. There's things that you can do. 1967 says I use the doctor on demand, which I never thought I would, but they are great and cover the insurance. Yeah, definitely. If you can use doctors on demand. Barry's views. Thank you. Appreciate it. My turn from the UK. How am I doing? I'm doing good. I'm just talking about COVID-19 and basically how it's affecting people in different ways. Sometimes people don't get into the mental health aspects, or the fact that hey, maybe you need to talk to somebody. Now I tell people, don't put your business out there to everybody. Find people that you can trust, be it a family member, be it a friend, even if it's a coworker that that you trust really well, somebody that could really help you. What's going on, Mad Kiwi? Appreciate you for coming through all the way from New Zealand. Appreciate that. Maybe this is the time, maybe this is the hour. 6 people in the chat. I appreciate you folks for just helping me. Sometimes, we talk to each other on the live streams, just being able to communicate with each other through YouTube or different social media platforms. Sometimes talking to somebody, hearing other people's stories and seeing what they go through. I mean, because it is definitely relevant, the fears, the angst, the anxieties, the trepidations that people have, the panic that may come through, and it's okay. You don't have to be ashamed or feel like you're less than because you're afraid of what's going on or what's happening. Like I said, a lot of us don't know. A lot of us don't know when this thing is going to be over with. It's kind of crazy, especially here in America. You have a lot of politicians and people talking about how they want to open the country up, but there's no vaccination yet. I don't know how that's going to work, but there shouldn't be any mass gatherings if there's no vaccination out there. Then the Chinese are trying to do something. Yeah, we're all in this together, and the Italians are rushing and the Australians are rushing to try to get a cure, all these different people. Let's all figure it out and just get each other healthy and then get back to work. I think some people are too focused on the money aspect. Things cost money. I'm not going to lie. You do want to have, revenue coming in. You do want to have resources. People still out there hoarding toilet papers and Lysols and hand sanitizer for whatever reason. If things get really crazy and it gets really dark and goes left, I don't know how much hand sanitizer and Lysol is going to save you, but I get it. You keep things clean. Sensible issues, things that people know. I'm not saying anything on here that's revolutionary, that's above the top, stuff that you probably haven't heard before. I'm just coming from one man's perspective, a concerned person. We filed our taxes and the checks we wrote to the feds cleared the banks, so they are still taking it. Yes. What's up going on, Cargo? Appreciate you for coming through. Oh Canada. I was gonna say Hail Canada, but oh Canada, appreciate you for coming through. Much love to you. Hopefully everything is safe with you and your families. Hope everything is safe with you and the families of everybody in the chat. People from New Zealand, UK. I don't know why I said China. I don't think I have anybody following me from China. But California, wherever you're from, I hope that everything is good with you. And like I said, again, if you're scared, if you're afraid at this time, there's nothing wrong with that. Spain said that they have been letting some people back to work. Yeah, Barry, I don't know what to say about that. I feel some kind of way about that. Yes, we all safe here, been busy cranking out masks. Nothing wrong with that. Get your homemade mask on. Make sure you wash them. My mother suggested you could put coffee filters inside of it just to change it out. I guess to give you extra protection. I don't know if people want to use coffee filters, but you could put it inside the mask and give you a little extra layer of protection, or find something to kind of like have the barrier there. It's kind of complicated, but there's different ideas. Kudos to you though, Cargo, for making the homemade mask. And hopefully giving it to the essential workers or the people out there on the front lines. And I take a moment to say, thank you for the people out there all across the world that are the service people, the essential people, the cops, the doctors, the nurses, the people out there that are really fighting to keep us going, because we need that right now. What's going on, Gail? I did not expect to see you up this late. Can't stay, but because of the storms and whatnot. Be safe out there, though. Definitely be safe out there. I'm just glad that you came through for whatever it is, for a minute, a second, a few minutes, an hour. I'm not going to be on here for a whole long time myself. I was debating whether I was going to come through. But thank you, Gail, for coming through. I encourage people to check out Gail. She does a lot of travel vlogs. She does some definitely good content on, dealing with, I don't want to say this wrong, but disabled, like not disabled animals. I forgot how you say it, but the animals that help people with disabilities and stuff like that. So she definitely has a lot of good content on her channel, just as well as Cargo. Sid's dad has content on there too that's as good as well. Barry's Views has his thing going on with the joke of the day and his vlog down series. Face masks only work if they are filtered properly. Yeah, definitely. There's different ways to filter that, so you can learn. But like I said, I agree with you. Face masks only work properly if they're filtered properly. You get that. That makes sense. So that's how it is. Coffee filters is a great idea, but say not to use the reusable because it's a virus. Yeah, no, definitely 1967. It's different ways to go about it, Stay safe, Gail. Appreciate you. I know you're only here for a few minutes, but it's all good. Yeah, there's different things that you could do. definitely you could look online, find out how to do it if you're very creative. If you don't know how to put filters in the mask and change it out and do all that stuff, then I tell people do the best that you can. They say handkerchiefs, they say scarves. Make sure you wash the scarf, don't reuse it, without washing it or whatever the case. Make sure you got gloves and stuff like that. I got a face mask over here, something like that. But I'm not gonna put the face mask on right now. It's just me in the house. But yeah, we got our face mask here. Try to be careful about it. But it's like somebody was saying, you see this right here, the lining is not really too thick. Coffee filters are good because they were, yeah, something put on your mouth. Yeah, definitely. So it's kind of, coffee filters are good because they make morning coffee. Yes, they do. That's funny. That was a good joke. You probably should put that on your joke of the day. But they're also good if you know how to make a mask and slip it through and cut it a certain way. But as you can see with this mask here, it's not really that thick. So if I wanted to use it, I would have to put two masks on there, and then maybe that would be a waste of a mask. I don't know, but it's really thin, and it helps. But it's more for like if you're sick, so you could try not to get people sick because the little droplets and everything can actually get through this. You could see, where you could see through here and whatnot. You can see my finger and everything. Definitely, Gail, thoughts and prayers for you out there. Hopefully, the inclement weather doesn't, overtake any situations out there. Be safe out there, you and your family. Definitely for that. But yeah, there's different masks. I got the N95 somewhere around here. I'm not rushing to go get it right now, but there's different type of masks. There's that whole situation. There's different options that you have out there, things that you could do, things that you could work out, and particularly try to get yourself in order and organize yourself, or as they say in the UK, you can look after yourself various ways with PPE, protective essential equipment. Amy, what's going on? Thank you. Praying for you as well. Back to your way too. Like I said, thoughts and prayers to anybody and everybody out there going through anything. Oh my God, speaking of jokes, my daughter made me giggle today. She had quarantine. I was thinking about a joke that's in quarantine. Okay, nothing wrong with having a sense of humor in the midst of the quarantine. You try to keep each other lively. That's another thing you could do. Humor works too. While people are locked down and you're just trying to make your way through the days, it seems like it's overlapping the same routine day after day after day after day, because it's like, what does the weekend mean now? When you have, oh, I'm waiting to get to the weekend. Where you going? You going to the quarantine party? I have to run. Got to keep the phone charged. Say a prayer for us in the South. Well, definitely thoughts and prayers with you out there, Gail. Be safe. Make sure you keep your phone charged. Talk to you later. Hopefully you and your family are good. Make sure you're stocked up on food and all kinds of things is going on. Because people forget in the midst of this whole thing too, this global pandemic, that there are people actually going through, thunderstorms and, all types of weathers and crazy stuff like that. And there's still earthquakes happening in certain parts of the world. Then if this thing is going on later into the year, there's hurricane season. So there's a lot of things going on that people have to be prepared for. You have your essential go bag with, things that you may need to survive through the days and whatnot, maybe loss of power and stuff like that. Not trying to scare anybody, but, these are things that happen. These are life events and stuff like that. Why shouldn't you date tennis players? Because love means nothing to them. Yeah, that was a funny joke. I remember that. That was on your joke of the day. Thanks for throwing that out there, though. I actually thought that was funny. Having a sense of humor is good. I appreciate that. Humor, laughter, it warms the heart. It keeps the heart together. It keeps everything good. Hopefully. In good taste, though. Not in bad taste. Good joke, though, Barry. I liked it when I heard it the first time as well. I don't know. But no, those are just my thoughts on that. I don't know if anybody has anything else they want to share about the days of the quarantine, the COVID-19 days. How do you feel about what's going on now? Everyone got a crush on your governor. Maybe they do got a crush on the governor, but hey, Cuomo, this is his moment. This is his moment. Yeah, what can you say about Cuomo? Here before this whole crisis, we didn't have much of a crush on Cuomo. I'm not saying I have a crush on him, but a lot of people, didn't really have that much of a crush on him before this happened. But he's a media darling. Right now, he's doing his thing, and as much as I may not always agree with, Governor Cuomo, he's doing what he got to do to keep people safe and keep people informed and keep people, properly prepared as whatnot, as best as a governor can do. He's doing a lot better than 45. Yeah, that's a whole other issue. Okay, man, I gotta run. Catch you later. Yeah, take care of yourself. Look after yourself too, Barry. Thank you for staying here. I know we're talking about local politics, American politics. I get it because it's the same thing. If you was talking about Boris on your channel, hopefully your prime minister and everything is safe out there. Be safe, Barry. Appreciate you for giving me, even if it's a moment of your time. Look after yourself, you, your family, your friends, your people out there, definitely. Ladies, everyone in the chat, and look after yourself, everyone. Exactly. Look after yourself. Shout outs to the folks in the UK. I do appreciate you and all that stuff. Thank you. Blessings and peace to you. Yeah, definitely. Like other folks are saying, stay safe, man. Just stay safe out there because, these are crazy times. These are strange times. Like I said, it just seems like one day is just going after the other, after the other, after the other. And there's nothing wrong with that because we'll get through this together. It doesn't have to be a complicated situation. It doesn't have to be a stressful thing, a struggle. It's okay. It's okay not to have all the answers. It's okay not to know what's going to happen from one day to the next. But you can put yourself in a situation where you just try to stay informed. And then also, too, not watching the news too much, not taking in too much negativity. Because sometimes the reality is we may take in a little bit too much negativity. You're right in the heart of NY. Yeah. I'm right in the heart of it, Amy. I'm right in the heart of it. But, we living, we surviving, we doing what we have to do. New Yorkers are tough. New York is tough. We survive. We get through things. Unfortunately, we have people that we've lost. We have folks that we will lose, people that are sick, people that will get sick, things that will happen. These are kind of like the times that we're in and a part of what's going on. It's unfortunate, but still we rise, still we strive on, still we press on, we push on, especially as a humanity, as a mankind. I'm not getting up each day just to give up. I'm not getting, put clothes on to have grave clothes on and roll over and say it's over. I have plans to do things. I'm gonna be around. I'm gonna survive this. I will survive, as the singer once said. Chicago's hanging in there. Exactly. Chicago's going through it. Shout out to the people of Chicago. I know you're going through it. It's rough out there. It's kind of strange. At 8 p.m., there are people who live around here hanging out, going outside at the top of their lungs. Yeah, no, we got that here in New York since that too. There's people out here having parties and doing crazy stuff and getting sick. Like one of the cases that I seen was in Florida when they had the spring break out there, and then the cases shot up, and then they tried to blame us here in New York to say it was all New Yorkers' fault. But there were people coming from different states. There were people in Florida who were sick and getting infected, and there were people going back to their home states. So it's kind of a community thing, a generational thing where you have some young people out there feeling like, hey, you know what? I can't get sick. I'm invincible. I'm untouchable. Until young people started to pass away, unfortunately. Sometimes we don't realize and listen until it's too late. And it shouldn't be that way, but unfortunately, sometimes that's how it goes down. So what we try to do is try to not to have the spread of the virus come because of people being reckless and certain behaviors being out there. But unfortunately, that's what happens. Let me see, because there's a comment. I think there's a comment I missed. Let me see if there's comments I missed. Amen. Nothing lasts forever. Good, bad. Something always happens to bring change. Yes, that is true. 1967. Good, bad. Something always happens to bring change. And change is not always a bad thing. When it comes to crisis, I think, in the Chinese, they say crisis is also, looked at as an opportunity. It's an opportunity to take stock. It's an opportunity for us to look, to reflect, to look at what's going on, to see things that we need to change. Sometimes people use, opportunities, or times of crisis to figure out maybe they want to get their life together. Some people may want to get their finances in order. Maybe you want to get your health right. Maybe you want to get closer to God. Maybe you want to get more political. Maybe you want to become more divisive. Whatever it is that you do, people start to figure out what their agenda or their strategy is for whatever it is they're going to do, how they're going to, particularly maneuver different things. It's up to you. It's really up to you how you want to maneuver and how you want to face this. It could be the worst times or it could be the best times. Well, it's my bedtime. Take care. All right. Appreciate you, Cargo. Always a pleasure. Let me see. What did he say? The book "Who Moved My Cheese" comes to mind. Exactly. There's nothing wrong with that. Cargo, I appreciate you for coming through. Nothing wrong with that. Shout out to you and the people out there in Canada. Send my love to the family, to the people. Be safe, stay healthy, all that good stuff. See you in the next go round. See you on Facebook, on YouTube somewhere. I'll definitely reach out. And that's that. Oh yes, is that Who Moved My Cheese? I heard about the book. I never read it, but yeah, it's definitely some wisdom in there. And definitely also too. Now's the time. Maybe you want to catch up on some good reading. Do I have some great reading? I got something back there. I ain't gonna reach right now, but I got some stuff over there. I got a bookshelf. Maybe one of these days we'll get into the reading and whatnot. I don't know. It's so many things people can get into. Maybe you wanna get your nails done. I don't know. That's some other stuff. I don't know. Maybe you want to get into that. I'm not about to paint my nails or nothing like that crazy, but you could do like a makeup tutorial or something like that. I was just throwing something out there that you didn't expect. Maybe you want to do your own nails or something right now. That works. I don't know. But forgive me. Like I said, something about the. Anyway, like I said, I don't want to get too distracted. Also, too, yeah, you could take a time to figure out your health. Maybe you want to do something with your health. Yeah, I read it sometimes when you're bored. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. You read sometimes when you're bored. You got different things going on. Maybe you could cook. Maybe you could exercise. There's a whole bunch of stuff that people could do. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, it really all depends on where you at with your progression, where you at with keeping yourself busy. You got to keep yourself occupied. Got to keep yourself focused. Some people want to pray. Maybe it's a time to meditate. There's so many different things that you could do right now. Because life is so fast paced. It's like the rat race of just trying to stay ahead, just trying to make enough money, but never having enough money. And then, now all of a sudden things is to a halt. Some people say you love Governor Cuomo. He's talking about how this is the great equalizer, this whole, COVID-19, this outbreak. So it's a situation where you begin to look at it and say, hey, what should I be doing at this time? Where are my priorities? Where will folks come out on the other side of it? Because people don't realize that the real lifting, the real heavy lifting is going to come after the virus, after the vaccines, after people start to recover, after different things begin to happen. Then that comes the recovery. People forget about the recovery part of this. Everybody's caught up. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people are caught up in the panic of the right now, the immediacy of the moment. Not to understand that, or forgetting or failing to understand that after this comes a rebuilding or getting back to life, or whatever normal is, or the new normal, whatever that may be. I don't know what it'll be for you. I don't know what it'll be for me. But I know it'll be a challenge. It'll be a struggle. But it's a struggle. It's a challenge that we can get through as a people. Again, like I said, it's first just waking up, putting one foot in front of the other, not being afraid to face the challenges, being realistic about your limits. A lot of times people don't take stock of their limitations and where they are, and what you should be reaching for, what you shouldn't be reaching for. I'm not here to tell you what that is. I'm not here to tell you what your limitations are. I'm not here to tell you what you can or you can't handle. But I know that if you're here, if you're in the now, and you're still healthy or somewhat healthy or still breathing, you have an opportunity to push forward, to press on, to really lift yourself to another situation. Just making wise, smart decisions. And some people say, what are wise, smart decisions? Decisions that will produce better outcomes, that will strengthen your life, that will help your family, help your community. The worst outcomes come from things that take away, that tear down people, that are divisive, that destroys life. So you look at it this way, preserve life and help, and really push towards being of a benefit. And it's up to you. It's your choice what you want to do. I know I plan on moving on. I plan on doing what I can do. Crimson Fantasy, I appreciate you. You're the second person in here from Canada. You just missed Cargo. Cargo was here not too long ago. Hopefully all is good, all is well with you and your peoples out there in Canada. Hopefully your family members are safe, your friends, your co-workers, even your enemies. Sometimes we got to pray for our enemies, Like I said, our haters just increase our exposure, our wealth, our shine, and all that other stuff. And you know about that, Crimson Fantasy. I definitely look forward to seeing you put out different content and stuff like that. So, like I said, we keep pushing on, we keep striving on, even though the days overlap, even though sometimes it feels like you're just going through, just getting up, waking up, getting up, waking up, getting up, waking up, going to sleep, waking up. You know how that goes. But like I said, I'm hopeful for the days to come. I'm glad that I'm here in the moment. I'm glad that you're here in the moment. I encourage you to keep fighting on, to keep pressing on, to keep pushing on, to keep doing those things to get to the next day. Because if you can put one foot in front of the other, then you're doing a lot better than most. Yeah, Canada is pretty bad where I'm getting arrested out here for being out too long. Yeah, well, I'll say this, Crimson Fantasy. It's best to adhere to the guidelines and the things that they're putting out for you because it's for your safety. Because there's no vaccination. I say to the young people out there, I get it. You want to turn up, you want to get lit. Maybe you want to do the tootsie slide, right foot in, left foot slide, right foot out, left, all that stuff. But it's hard trying, but a combination of everything is overwhelming. Yes, and I was talking about that in the I was gonna say the vlog and the whole live stream. I get it. Yeah. Oh, you like that? Since that? Yeah. You still need to hear it. Check that out. It's. I guess it's a new TikTok dance. Anyway, that's another story. I digress. For those people that want to go Drake, he got enough attention. But my point on the whole matter is just to say, to you, Crimson Fantasy, I get it. You're young. You out there. Drake lookalike. I'm messing with you. You know. You got to remember it's about safety. You don't want to go out there and risk getting sick because there's no vaccination. Now, if you got a vaccination on the side, they got something for you in the cut. They're saying, oh, this is the special Crimson Fantasy, vaccine or the young people vaccine. Then, it happens, but the thing is, it's for us to be safe. And then also be mindful of the people with underlying conditions, people that may have respiratory issues, diabetes, cancer, leukemia, stuff like that. You can get them sick as well. These are things that we know. And I get it because the weather is getting real nice. The springtime going into the summer, it's going to be real hot outside. It's going to be real hard to stay in. There's emotions and hormones raging, and people want to go out there and make some things happen. And maybe you want to get your corona babies on, bang, 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 woo, woo, give a little something, but you got to be careful with that. Use protection either way. I don't know what to tell you. Hopefully nobody coughs on you. Maybe you have a mask while you're doing your thing, but not to get too graphic. What I'm saying is, that's just what it is. Yeah, Amy, it's kind of like that. You got to use many layers of protection for whatever reason. Whatever you choose to do, and let your imagination wander on with that. But yeah, but there's consequences and repercussions behind that too, because again, worldwide, this is not something that I'm saying in a vacuum. It's not something going on in Chicago, in New York, in Alaska, in Mississippi, in Canada, and China. This is something going on everywhere. You don't know how many people have it. You don't know where the vaccination is coming from. You don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff we don't know. And the weather is changing, and people are feeling frisky and free. And maybe you want to get yourself out there. You want to have a hot girl summer or a hot boy summer, whatever. Can you imagine the headlines, the voice rate up, baby booms, etc.? Yes, I can imagine that. Right now, though, the divorce rate, I can see the divorce rate staying low. It doesn't mean it doesn't need a years to be made. Yeah, no, it don't. It don't need years to be made, but it does need a year. You do need at least a year, like a cat in heat out here looking for the window. Yes, I know a lot of people out there like that. There's like a cat in heat out there looking for a window because they just want to get out there. People want to let their freak flag fly. Victory Leo, appreciate you for coming through. But I say people be mindful, just, pump the brakes a little bit. And I get it because here's the thing. You go out there, you party, you getting yourself free, you getting yourself fancy, you doing what you do and whatnot. And then you wind up getting sick, especially if you ain't got the money. You ain't got the means like that. If you catch mild symptoms, okay, they're not going to test you because maybe they're saying they don't want to waste it on you. Maybe if you got a little money, you can get treatment in the hospital or something like that, good health care, something like that. But after you get treatment and they send you home and now you're in quarantine for whatever amount of time, you got decisions to make. Certain places, I heard they're putting like a what do you call it, an ankle bracelet on people, and sheriffs standing out in front of the home. I don't go out, but my dad has, and his dad is 60 and he has diabetes. Yeah, that makes sense. It's like that, Crimson. You got to be careful. If your dad is 60 and he has diabetes, he's somebody at risk because of underlying conditions. And I tell people, be mindful of that. Even no matter how they look, how good they look, No matter how brown and round it is, no matter how big and dark and tall and handsome they are, or stunningly beautiful the person may be, now is probably not the time. Of course, there's going to be people, if you're already in quarantine and already on lockdown and already have that situation going on, then to each his own. But if you're going out of your way to go across town, to go to some place or to do something, to see somebody because you're cooped up in the house and you're worried about the whole quarantine, and maybe you have cabin fever, as Governor Cuomo said, people like Governor Cuomo, cabin fever, and you want to go out there and just lay the work down and give them that work. Always be mindful that you can spread the infection in multiple ways. Through contact with people that you're not sure that's sick, and to each his own. I would never think you would talk about hookups. Oh my, yeah, no, I talk about hookups. I try to keep it regular. Crimson fans, I try not to get too crazy, but yeah, I know about hookups. I'll be 40 this year, so I know about a little bit of our life. I know about some things. Not to get too graphic, not to, if there's any ex-girlfriends on here or anybody looking for me or whatever, just, let's just move past that. We ain't got to talk about hookups or bad situations. Right now, we're being positive. We're keeping it all good. The Kuna Matata, whatever you want to call it. I'm just trying to keep positive vibes right now. Yeah, but I get it for the young people out there. I get it for the people that got cabin fever. I get it. I get it. But you risk doing so much more harm. Mom had to call the police on some young folks yesterday for a group of 10 in the circle enough to play Duck, Duck, Goose. What? What? Duck, Duck, Goose. You out here playing Duck, Duck, Goose. Man, listen. You try here playing Corona, Corona Casket. Like, all right, come on, man. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Corona, Corona Casket. That's what you playing. So that's how close they were. Wow. I remember those days. Now it's red sports cars. Hey, listen. Hey, if you got it, go get it. Who knows? Maybe one day I might pull up in a multicolored Lamborghini somewhere. Who knows? But it's all good. I have dreams and hopes and aspirations that will one day come true. But for those folks that got it, go ahead and get it. I ain't mad at you, sis, dad. Make it work, make it happen. But I'm not really a car person though. But anyway, I digress from that situation. Yeah, but shout outs to the sports cars though. Shout out to the people that could do that. Especially you got the old muscle cars too. Shout out to that. I appreciate that. I'm a fan. Nah, but wow, Duck Duck Goose. I didn't expect that one. So you're gonna risk your life out there to play Duck Duck Goose. Corona, Corona, Corona casket. Man, it's not worth it. I'm telling you, folks, it's really not worth it, especially if they don't know how they're going to cure people, especially if they don't have any vaccination out to the people, to the public ready yet. Stay your behind home, shelter in place. Be mindful of folks out there that are going through it, that are struggling, that are facing troubles, that are facing, underlying medical conditions. Be mindful of your fellow neighbor. My dream car is 1967 Mustang Cobra. Look at you. Getting all specific. 1967 Cobra. I like GTOs myself. But yeah, nah, hey man, that could happen. Make it happen. I don't know if y'all see the turtle in the back. The turtle in the back trying to do something. Yeah, it's moving around. Maybe want attention to be fed. But yeah, 1967, a Cobra. Cobra. I'm thinking of G.I. Joe. Anyway, that's just on my age. Nah, nothing wrong with that though. That's a good old muscle car right there. They don't make them like they used to though. Sis dad could tell you definitely. A lot of folks out there know about the different muscle cars and stuff like that. Shout out to Road King, 805 Road King that does that stuff on his channel. Anybody get a chance, check him out. He probably ain't watching, but it's all good. Shout out to you. My mom has 5 underlying medical conditions. Wow, I didn't expect that. See, but that lets you know, you got to be careful. You got to be careful who you're around, what you're doing, how you out there moving around, and, be safe, because, you never know how you're going to infect people. And then if you have family members that want to get out there, because we say to young people, and we're kind of unfairly sectioning out or singling out the young people. The older folks too want to get out. People of a certain age, men and women of a certain age, want to get out there and be free. Yeah, 67 is the year. Well, hey, ain't nothing wrong with 67. Well, I wasn't around at that time, but I say 1980 is the year, but oh well, I digress. It's the day the earth stood still. Anyway, yeah, where was I going? I'm so torn up. Yeah, the elderly, the elderly folk, people of a certain age, people with medical conditions, folks want to get out there too. And I say it's really not worth it. Definitely it's really not worth it. But I get it. I'm not going to sit here and judge people for wanting to get out there. If you want to take your chances and you want to put yourself in those situations, just know the risk. I'm not condoning it in any way. I advise people to stay home. Me personally, I'll stay home if I don't have to go out. I don't do any of that other fancy stuff. And that's just what it is. I worry about my family members still out there working. My son's girlfriend works in the hospital. Yeah, definitely. Shout out to those people out there that are essential workers, that have to work. People that are firemen, police officers, doctors, nurses, folks that work in restaurants that are still maybe open, essential services and delivery people, mail people, UPS workers and stuff like that. It's just crazy. I just don't know why let these happen. That's a whole other conversation. That's a whole other conversation why this happened that I definitely would have to have at another time. Makes me wish I had a place with me and my mom out in the country in the fresh air. Well, unfortunately, Victory Leo, we don't have the situations that we all may want, but we try to make the best of what we have, try to shelter in place, try to social distance, try to keep certain things clean, try to eat healthy if you can, try to find the best foods that you can eat. Just really put yourself in a position where you use the resources that you have around you to do what you got to do. But definitely prayers for your moms, like Sid's dad was talking about. Thoughts and prayers with your moms, and hopefully, she doesn't have to be in a situation where she compromises her health. I'll say some prayers for her. Yeah, Amy. Yeah, no, definitely, definitely. Definitely prayers, thoughts and prayers to those folks out there, who do have underlying medical issues and who are in detriment if they actually go out into the public, and things can definitely happen to them. It's one of those things where you don't really want to see people go down. Unfortunately, I had an uncle not too long ago who passed away. It seemed like it was just yesterday. It might have been just yesterday, a couple of weeks ago. He passed away because he had underlying medical issues. So I did have an uncle that passed away, and it's serious. This is not a game. It's not something you play around with. I didn't even get a chance to see my uncle before he died. I couldn't go to the funeral. They cremated him, and the next time me and the family get together, basically it won't be a funeral. It'll be a memorial. So I say that as a cautionary thing for folks to understand. This is real. This is not fake. This is not fabricated. This is not something made up out of thin air. This is not a hoax. This is not something that it's just happenstance. This is something that's really going on in real time that has real life implications. Life and death. Just at the tip of the tongue. At the touch of a finger, a hug. People not understanding that. Some people may understand. More people understand now, but some people not taking it seriously. That this is something that is at your doorstep. This is something that can come to your home. This is something that can affect you in many ways. Yeah, last October. Sorry about that, Amy. Sorry for your loss. Definitely it's never easy to lose a loved one, especially now at this time. Well, feel sorry for the guy on the third floor in the nursing home recovering from the district man is evicting him right now. He has no place. Wow. Sorry to hear that too. And unfortunately, people don't think about the real life issues that are going on with people being evicted, with folks going through stuff, with people losing their jobs. Here in America, over 12 million people, and the numbers is still climbing. Climbing. A certain, they said, of a third of the economy right now is without work. Businesses are shuttering. People are really waiting for stuff, and it's not the end. It's not hopeless. Not to leave you in a bleak way in a strategy like that. I'm saying all these things to say that it's important to acknowledge these things. It's important to understand and feel what you feel towards what's going on. It just means you're human. It just means that you have a pulse. It means that you breathe air. It means you eat food. It means that you are imperfect. It means that you do have worries and thoughts and fears, and there's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, there's different ways that we can get through. government on our news stations, they're not allowed to do that. I don't know what you're saying there, but um, it's crazy times, but it's not the end. It's not the end all to be all. It's a situation, like I said, we'll get through. We just have to have patience, have faith, manage our emotions, be disciplined about how you spend your money and what you do with your time, and, enjoy your loved ones, because, this will be over quicker than most folks think. I mean, things is going on now. This year we have to hunker down and get through it, and be patient, and try to say, hey, look, this may not be the ideal situation, but things can be a lot worse. The death toll could be higher. More people could be infected, a lot more than we expect. You want the curve to flatten, whether you're in different countries, whether you're in Italy, whether you're in China, whether you're in Spain, here in America. You want this thing to flatten. You want there to be treatments. You want people to pay attention and take it serious. Because that's the best thing we could do, is to take this thing serious. Is to be mindful, to be cognizant of what's going on. Watch the news to a degree, maybe an hour or two, a day. Don't, infiltrate yourself, or saturate yourself with too much news. There's different things that you could do. Just stay tuned, stay abreast, stay informed. Stay hopeful, keep praying if you're a person of faith. Talk to persons if you believe that you should talk to somebody about the mental health aspect of it. Just be informed about what's going on. Be encouraged about the fact that if you're still here, if you're still alive, if you're still here tomorrow and the next day and the next day after that, then there's hope. There's a way for you to survive. The mortality rate is not, as high as it could be, and, it shouldn't get that crazy. People were acting crazy the other day. I was going to the store. The guy was acting weird to the other side of the street. People are going to act up. People are going to do what they got to do. You just try to do your best to keep you and your family safe. Victory. Try not to go crazy with the rest of the world. Try not to panic and get yourself all caught up in a tizzy to the point where you can't function. Because, going crazy and getting all emotional about things is not going to help anybody. It definitely is not. It's definitely not going to help your family in a situation like that. But I have spoken a lot longer than I would like to. But I know there's a lot of folks out there that wanted to talk, maybe need to hear some words of encouragement. I definitely appreciate you all. Have you reported it? For sometimes they go home and they lose not lifetime and the memorabilia. Yeah, definitely. If you have to report to local police, you have to report unsafe conditions and stuff like that. Do what you have to do. Don't go out there trying to be a vigilante or hero or avenger, anything like that. But definitely be safe. Stay encouraged. Don't succumb to the fears, of what's going on. And I know it's easier said than done. I'm not going to sit here and pretend. I'm not going to sit here and cap you about that. He used some foul language, calling me, yeah, I blocked him out. Okay, cool. But just be careful out there, Victory. Be careful out there to anybody. Don't put yourself in any dangerous situations. Especially don't be out there fighting over toilet tissue. Please. There's ways to get toilet tissue delivered to you. There's ways to get certain stuff to your house. Thank you, Amy. It was good for you to catch me live. It was good to see you live as well. But with that being said, I tell folks to stay encouraged, stay healthy, stay safe, look after yourself, look after your family, your neighbors, and people that need help. Try to get along with people as much as possible. And with that being said, spread love. It's the Brooklyn way. I'll catch you folks next time. Thank you for watching. It truly helps more than you know. Good morning to folks out there. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Shout out to the replay gang, the people watching this in replay. And I think this was a good live stream. One of my next day later is something from my mom. There's nothing wrong with that. Love each other, look out for each other, protect each other. Peace.